Okay. Sorry for the delay there. Was just making sure this was at least mostly set up properly. So we'll see how that actually turns out. Let's slide that on over. I have to stream my second monitor for this, so I have to shift everything around while making sure I can still see everything. But yeah, welcome to our first Monday Night Modding in a while. This is basically a stream that I used to do weekly, and would like to do semi-regularly still, but essentially what happens is I work on the mod and talk about some of the features we're doing, show you guys kind of how the process goes, but more importantly, I show you that you don't have to be competent to do this, because I'm not. And a lot of what you're about to see is going to be me struggling through something I don't really know how to do until Pox eventually looks at my code and tells me why it's terrible. But what we're going to be working on today is implementing a random mission system, or at least the framework to assign the missions. I don't know if we're going to get to any of the actual missions, but this is something that I've talked about a bit in recent news posts, so the videos about the Yuzon Vong stuff and even the ground battles, where, especially tied into the government systems, you're going to get occasional random missions. Some of them are going to be somewhat simple, some of them are going to be a bit more complicated, but it is a feature that the base game had, like base Empire at War, so before even Forces of Corruption, where at its most simple, it's like build 3 of these ships, or take this planet, and then you'll get a Corellian Corvette or something. And I've always felt that that was kind of not useful in Thrawn's Revenge. But now that we have stuff like the Senate approval, the CIS subfaction approval, ship crews are going to be a thing that's coming up, which is another resource type. We'll have a news post about that soon enough. But there's a lot more that it can tie into, especially as we're making stuff more narrative on the galactic map. Another mod that has implemented or re-implemented, I think they use more or less the base game system, is Awakening of the Rebellion. So if you've played that, you get a few of the like favor for Lord Vader missions or whatever. But that's what we're going to be working on. So in Thrawn's Revenge, meaning both Imperial Civil War and Fall of the Republic, we have, as you can see here, every Galactic Conquest runs off of this script as well. So we have a background script that handles a lot of our additional systems, and this is where a lot of the new features get plugged in. So we're going to be starting off by working in here. Well, not in this specific file, but this is what it loads, which goes into the game mod implementation, I think is, or implementer or something. I'm not sure what Pox was trying to abbreviate with this, but that gets us into here, which is the thing that's generally running when your Galactic Conquests are. This is essentially what tells the game when the news feed that comes up in the top left corner is doing stuff. It tells the game when influence is being calculated, when the build bar filters are being used. So it's a persistent script that's running almost everything in the mod, and that is where we're going to be plugging the new stuff into. So this will get us from there. It's loading to Galaxy in it, so we want to also open a lot of these have been moved around a bit and updated since I've last worked in them, because Pox is trying to make more stuff that would allow us to split stuff between Fall of the Republic and Imperial Civil War. But let's see. So I need to find exactly where I'm going to be plugging this into, because it used to just be straight in here. And now it is in a different place. I don't think we'll need galactic events right away. We'll just need galactic conquest. Library, TRLib galaxy, galactic conquest. All right. So this is the function that basically tells the game every frame what it needs to do. So that's what the update does. I think it refreshes every 0.05 seconds is the refresh rate for that. So it'll probably go somewhere in here that we want to plug that in. And self-government update, government manager. We'll probably want to make an event manager. We don't need a galactic conquest manager for that. So let's get planets. We will need to have some stuff that's that's mod specific, but we don't need everything to be mod specific. So we don't need to set something in the mod content loader. We'll just make an event manager in the galaxy folder. And I'll copy the government manager for it though. Library, galaxy. Is everything the governments do is different based on the mod. So there's a very simple, like it needs to change everything. Whereas for the event manager, it should be all running the same no matter which faction or mod you're playing. And then once it's determining you should get an event, it will go to whichever faction you're playing as, because that'll be different based on the faction. Will I be playing the game this evening? Well, I'll be testing stuff as I do it, but I won't really be playing too much. But we'll see how long this all ends up taking. Event manager class. What? Oh, that is a typo. You're going to see a lot of typos. Thanks, Nacho. What type of Visual Studio am I using? Doesn't look like community version. It's Visual Studio Code, but I've got it set to dark theme, so maybe that's what you're seeing. We went into the Visual Studio Code beta so that Pox and I could all work on the same stuff at the same time. And by that I mean I could watch Pox work and then explain what I understood about it to people. But we need self dot. I think we'll set it up after the government. Event manager self dot events equals. Actually, no, I shouldn't call it that. That's really bad. Because we already have events. That's what we call the news stuff. I should just call it mission manager. So we're barely into it and we're already renaming everything. mission. See, we're already learning stuff. Isn't that wonderful, class? Right, mission manager. I should reopen that. Back to conquest. Look at the mission manager. Self.missions. Mission manager. Mission manager. Nope, missing. God damn it. How does the word already lose all meaning for me? Alright, that should be enough. Give Mandos a PopCap value so I can stop exploding, hacking them into my game. I mean, you can add one yourself if you're exploding them in your game. Seems like a good next thing to learn. Okay, so we've launched the mission manager. And we need to update it. Self.missions. We'll put that up after the government manager every week as well, so that if anything changes with the government manager, that can happen before the missions happen. Self.missions update. All right, so basically what we're going to be working on first is determining whether or not someone should be given a mission. It's going to have a chance every week to give you a mission, and there's going to be a minimum amount of time and a max amount of time between missions. So if you get one week, it should wait 3 weeks before it can give you another one. And if it's been 10 weeks or more, or I guess if it's been 10 weeks since you've gotten a mission, then it will just hand you one. So we need self-dot week since mission. It'll start at 0. Self.active missions. Actually, I won't worry about active missions yet. Need week since mission. Would you consider making a coding tutorial every once in a while? I used to do some specific tutorials on stuff, and I have some plans for a few more, but it's just been too low priority. But over the holidays, I want to get 1 or 2 more and see if there's any interest in that still. But then every time it updates, I think it needs to go through, let's see. Do we want to just... Yeah, because we already have something checking every week. So... it's only going to need to do stuff on the week. So let's just get out of there. Which does get this out of where I want it. But it will be updating the governments beforehand anyways. So yeah, we'll leave that there. Every time it goes into update, we want a random number. So where do I last use random numbers? Okay. I'm just going to copy that because 90% of coding, from my understanding, is just copying code you've done before. Any chance of original AI change? We are not putting the base game AI back in, nor are we putting the old broken AI back in, because the thing that people usually are thinking was the game being easier was them not knowing how to use their units at all. And by that I mean like literally not knowing that they can land them on planets, which is not good. But do I have a regular day job? No. I only sit at my computer and talk about Star Wars, which saves me from going outside, which is great. Mission chance equals game random. Every time it updates, it's going to do a mission random. If mission chance is less than or equal to, I'd say 15% chance per week for mission, and that's easy to modify. It's just that number. Well, technically YouTubing, streaming, that's my job, and then modding is just it gives me the material to stream. So, and then there's stuff like datapad, which has nothing to do with modding, which is a nice change. If it's less than give mission and self weeks since mission equals 0. So set that back to 0. And if the mission chance doesn't trigger, then dot since mission equals self.week since mission plus 1. All right. So basically every week, which is what this is determining. So if the last cycle time is greater than or equal to 40 seconds, that means the week has just changed, and it'll go into self.missions update, which brings it in here. So that gets a random number between 1 and 100. With a 15% chance, that just means less than or equal to 15. Then it'll give a mission here. That's what it's going to go here. And that resets the time since the last mission to 0. And if it hasn't rolled the mission, then it just takes the week since last mission and adds 1 to it. And then we're going to make it if, well, this would actually go first. If self.weeks is less than or equal to 2, then actually I should do it the other way. If it's greater than or equal to 3, then it can do all this. Oops, I don't want to delete it. There's a chance. Alright. Else if week since last mission is greater than or equal to 11, then give mission guaranteed and also reset the time. All right, so everyone follow? Yeah, great. Am I a blue-collared worker? Definitely not. I don't wear collars very often at all. Okay. Sorry, just checking if there's any other questions. How would the time post Vaughn will work in Thrawn? I did a news post talking about a bit of that on apparently Friday. So that's all we've really announced with that so far. But you'll hear more of it later. Okay, but this will currently not actually do anything, which is a perfect time to test and make sure the game isn't broken. Because it could very well be. Hold on. Government manager. I think that's all we need to do for that. Plan to add Renegade Squadron, all those. Renegade Squadron is a lore mess. We try not to touch those games. For like ships and vehicles, it would be fine, but I don't think they really introduce anything. But story-wise and character-wise, they're just messy and usually unnecessary. Oh, shit. Did I do this on the Empire of the Hand branch? That's annoying. Well, I can still copy it over, but that's still annoying. I am going to add game capture so you guys can actually see when I go in game. That's why I launched it, and good thing I did because I'm a fucking idiot. Who do I think is a better commander out of Akbar and Pelion? I think generally Akbar. It depends when, like Pelion by the end of his life maybe, but Akbar for most of the time. Right, I am in the Empire of the Hand. Let's play. Can I bring these changes back to Master? Well, first I should just show you what's going on. If I could change the coding language Empire War uses, what would it be? I'm fine with what it is. I don't know enough about programming to really have a preference. Lua I know better than most now because that's what I've had to work in for Empire at War, so if I changed it, that would just be hurting me. Okay, can I bring my I've only changed Galactic Conquest and Mission Manager, Library, Galaxy. All right, changing branch and seeing how much it messes up. I don't think it'll mess up anything. I don't think anyone's changed that since. Mission manager. Okay, nothing that has broken there, and this file's new, so obviously it's fine. Okay. That was a good thing I caught that then. Imperial Civil War or any other your planned mods go as far forward as the Fell Empire. Depends on if you want to count the end of Fate of the Jedi as Fell Empire, because I kind of do. But like not Darth Krayt, Sith Imperial War far. All right, let's see if I broke it. Right, it's loading in. I can't actually see OBS or the chat right now, so I'm gonna open the stream. All right, it looks like the mod is showing up, so that's good. But will it crash? It's better if you actually select a Galactic Conquest.
System conquered.
All right, it crashed. But now we know. And knowing is fucking annoying. So what did I break? Where did I fuck it up? Mission manager. Events, planets, missions. Oh, this is why. I'm going to move this onto the screen for a sec whenever I'm in the game so that I can at least... Actually, no, I have my phone. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let me worry about that. I told you all to stop worrying. Jesus Christ. How nice would it be to see how much damage a turbo laser does? You mean like personally? Because I don't want to get shot by anything. Giant turbo lasers, small lasers, Nerf guns. That's about my limit, Nerf gun. Is the Pelion class Star Destroyer too far forward to be included in the mod ship lift? Yeah, that'd be like Sith Imperial War era. That's like 100 years after where the Yuzon Vong War ends. And like even with the extended timeline for all the missions and stuff that we've been talking about, or for the extended eras, it's like 80 years after that. So it's a bit far. Ship crew. Yay, it works.
System control achieved.
Doesn't sound like much studying going on. All right. So, like all the best code, when I first put it in, you will notice that it has changed absolutely nothing. And that's good. It means it's running. If we weren't seeing ship crews in the galactic
Mission
news
log
feed,
updated.
then it would be bad. So we'll see what happens when the week rolls over. I know I said that when the galactic news feed went away. It's just because there's no news to display. We don't run a 24-hour news cycle. And when the week rolls over, that's when we're going to see the next possibility for a crash. We are now in week 2. Alright, it hasn't crashed.
Mission log updated.
Yeah, Xavier, feel free to ask any questions. I'm just sometimes not looking at the actual chat, so it may take a moment for me to get to it. Alright, week 2. I should probably put something in telling me when it's doing the missions, but that's kind of what the missions themselves will be. Alright, I'm gonna call that successful. If it's getting through that, then just the success isn't going to be, or the randomized thing isn't going to break it. How far past Order 66 can we go and follow the Republic? I mean, narratively, that's where the events stop. But like, you'll have the quote-unquote Imperial tech and Vader and Palpatine, and you'll be killing the rest of the Separatist ships. So, and we'll see if like some other stuff may happen, but all right. So that's a good start. What other ships will you add to be built at the Skirmish Hero Station? That's basically stuff that isn't available to a playable faction, is what typically goes there. So any ship that playable factions can't build will eventually go there. So we need another function. Mission manager, give mission. And if it decides to give a mission, then we need to go into give mission. Self give mission. Yeah, that is what that looks like. Which right now means absolutely nothing. But we do need the text utility. So where do we use that in here that I could check to make sure that actually works? I will be doing a Republic playthrough after the CIS one ends, which should actually be this week. So probably tomorrow I'm going to put on put up the Patreon post for people to pick the Patreon post for picking people's ships. That will probably go up tomorrow. If anyone has any suggestions for more words starting with P for me to say, then leave them in the comments. I feel like I've just invited something horrible into my life. Uh, Kadalbis will be put in there, yeah. What was I doing? Okay, I remember what I was doing now. Don't want Republic. I think it's just the ship crews, actually. So Galaxy... Dummy-based resource manager. Does it include trlib store util? It does. So I need that in here. I don't know if we'll keep needing it in here, but story util. Oh, it doesn't actually. Tap freshener. No. Okay, I don't actually. So I'll take the Republic one again. And I need this all here. If this statement can go away. And this is just to test it right now, just so we can get some text in. We'll need mission files, but I think that'll be our missions. Yeah. We'll just have Follow the Republic. We'll make a folder for Follow the Republic and then missions in there, and we'll have an event called Mission Fired. So that's going to require going into XML. Conquests, we need new OTR. Actually, I should call that FOTR plots. And then I'm just going to drop this file in there. And I'll call this mission handler. I don't even know if I'm actually going to use that for anything, but I'm sorry, I've been seeing the chat move, but I've assumed it's just been a lot of P words that I didn't want to say on the stream. And it looks like I was mostly right. Corey, is it worth doing what you do for life? I mean, the streams, videos, modding. Trying to enter a college program to learn programming. I would like to work with something related to Star Wars. There's a lot there. Like, I really like my job, and I'm really lucky that I was able to have this become my job, but I'm also not sure how long I'm going to be able to have it be my job. So, and I'm someone who had like every advantage possible getting into this, and it's still like I'm 3 or 4 years into this channel, and I'm at 20,000 subscribers, which is like, it's not nothing, but compared to what a lot of channels have, it's very rare to be able to do it full time before you hit 100,000 subscribers. And part of why I'm able to is just because people have been really generous on Patreon, because that is generally more than 2/3 of my income comes from Patreon. and part of that just comes from the fact that we've built up like a fan base with Thrawn's Revenge for so long that like I came in with an established way to advertise to people, and then even people like Shaq and Eckhart's Ladder, where I was able to be like, hey, you want to play the mod, and they were already playing the mod or whatever, and then that got me in with larger channels to work with, which is a big part of how you're able to grow. So I'm a really bad example to use, because unless you're going to run a mod for 10 years while like going to school and doing other jobs, then like it's a big lead up time that I had to get to this. So it's definitely, it's risky. And like I was kind of put in a position where I didn't have much of a choice but to do this when my mom was sick. So like I started the channel just as a way to advertise the mod, and then like I started making small amounts of money. But when I moved in with my parents a few years ago, when my mom was diagnosed again, it was like, okay, well, my dad needs to work. My mom can't be at home alone. I can make some money doing this. So I'll see if this is something that I can make work in any significant amount of time. And then if I can, like, sort of support myself living there, letting my dad go to his job. So, like, it wasn't at a point where it could be a full-time job, but the alternative was, like, my dad would have had to give up his job. So it was, yeah. It's not something I necessarily recommend people get into, because it's a huge grind, but don't I have a kid? I do not have a kid. Eckhart has a kid, so maybe you're thinking of that. Eck has Gus. But yeah, so Twitch subs do get the naming a ship thing in the playthroughs. It's channel members, patrons, and Twitch subs. If you're comfortable sharing, how much do you make a month just on YouTube, not including Twitch, Patreon, etc.? I've been thinking of starting a channel of my own. I'd like to know what to expect if I do. No, I don't have a kid. Per month on YouTube, it's on, let's just say Corey loses for most of this year. The channel, not let's just say Corey loses for most of this year. Then most of this year it's been around $400 per month American. On loses. This month it's been more, because December's always more, but and that's getting 2,000 to 4,000 views per day usually. So like again, if it weren't for Patreon being the bulk of my income, then this would not be able to be a full-time job for me. Okay, let's try that. I'm just going to pull the chat back over here. My phone battery was dying a lot more quickly than I thought it would, trying to have the stream open on it while doing this. Sorry, you're probably seeing me fuck around with that too much. There we go. No, that was per month. I definitely don't make $400 per day.
System control achieved.
I would not be working anywhere near as much as I do. Do you have plans to create other mods for other eras? For example, mod for the Old Republic era. It sort of depends on what our resource level is at any given time, or I'm gonna let this run through a bit until we get the notification for missions. But yeah, it depends on how many people are active on the team, what stage other projects are at. Because like with Imperial Civil War, there's a lot we're doing and a lot we plan to do. But with Fall of the Republic, once the main factions are set up, like we probably will add huts at some point. But a lot of the additions are just about individual units, reworking, adding units, the hut stuff. Like it's not going to expand in scope a lot. So there's a possibility for us to have room for like Old Republic or New Canon or whatever. But we'll see. We've had a lot of people join the team lately. But the big thing with that is like coding will generally apply to all the mods. So stuff that we code for Fall of the Republic and stuff that we code for Imperial Civil War will like what you guys have been seeing in this stream with the channel or with the agnostic plot file that we're modifying, like the stuff I'm working on right now. Even though towards the end of it, there's going to be stuff that makes it very mod specific. The background systems will not only work for each mod, but like it's the same code base for all of it. So the big thing really is the assets and I guess the specific balancing. So the real question is just availability of 3D modelers and texture artists, or how much time we have to do stuff like that. When is Fall of the Republic coming out? We don't have a release date yet. We are in beta. This is the last thing that needs to be added before we get to beta. So it'll be just this and then some bug fixes. Will this mod support multiplayer GC to a certain point like Thrawn's Revenge did? Me and a few friends. Most of the features we're doing prevent us from being able to use multiplayer Galactic Conquest. Implementing it basically means stripping out everything and making new copies of the units, along with like we need to change the UI to not have these buttons here. We need to have the base game buttons back, which is one downside. Like there's a lot of work that would have to go into stripping everything out of the mod for a game mode that is unstable and generally just not worth it. Vinny, if you're in the Discord and you want to send me a direct message, then feel free. And I think there is an email address on the channel as well, so you can use that. It's not
Enemy
crashing,
fleet
so that's
approaching.
good. Oh, I know what I didn't do. It's not actually going to show anything because I didn't do something. Ever see a Canon GC? Like, there's a bunch of errors we've talked about. Like, I'd really want to do an Old Republic mod, or like my top two choices would be Old Republic or sequel trilogy. So like, resurgent battle cruisers and Starhawks and shit flying around. So what I forgot to do was to put the thing in here. Needs to be in container. Display. I should put it with the player agnostic stuff. Right, yes. Here we need conquests, FOTR plots, I said, and then mission handler.xml. And this should actually be made perpetual. Is perpetual or just perpetual? I think it's no, it's just perpetual. Yeah, the beta currently for Fall of the Republic is just closed to a specific group of testers. Soon it will be open to everyone, though. And there'll be a video out about how exactly to get in at that point. But I'm going to make this 50%. And if it's been more than 5 weeks, that'll make it easier to test. OTR plots mission handler.xml. Mission fired is the AI command. Yep. There we go. Didn't know what Republic mod would be. KOTOR, SWTOR, Great Hyperspace War. It would be probably some combination of the Mandalorian Wars, the Sith Wars from KOTOR, and potentially Knights or the Old Republic era. With anything like that, we'd probably have to be a bit more loose with the timeline because it is a less fleshed out area.
System conquered.
What the fuck? Why did I lose? I've broken something. You have been defeated. Please try again. Did I miss something?
System conquered.
Huh. I don't think this was happening before, but I don't see how it's happening now. Right, if I go into the Confederacy, is it going to happen? Because this may just be a problem with the Republic on that GC.
System conquered.
Which needs to be fixed. If so. Yeah. Huh. Alright, if there's any of the task force people watching, still, then maybe give that a shot and see if something happens. Unless someone's already reported it and I just missed it. What does the Republic say Commerce Guild at? So all the CIS sub factions are technically playable. and like playable in the technical sense, not playable in the you can actually play them sense. So otherwise they don't work properly on the galactic map. They won't use their resources or gain resources properly.
Enemy fleet.
So they don't actually,
approaching.
you can't actually play as them, but they are sometimes going to show up as your selected faction. There will probably still be some disappointed people in skirmish that trick their way into
Enemy
it. And
fleet approaching.
then we're on week 2. Week 3, no mission. It may not be loading the plot properly. Any raiding fleets in Fall of the Republic? No. Maybe in Galactic Conquest later that include more hut space when the huts are a thing, but not currently.
Enemy fleet approaching.
These approaching fleets are probably just sub-faction units going through our territory with a corruption. Gesundheit.
Enemy fleet approaching.
Can you see this? Second one.
Enemy fleet approaching.
Mom will be happy. I thought they'd already started on it.
Nah, it's just been sitting in city council forever.
Alright, I'm not sure if it's making it into the function or not. It's the problem. A lot of people are saying bless you. So, do I assume it's the script broken, or do I assume it's just not loading into this? I've had a few problems with it not loading that. Oh wait, is that? No, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. The same thing as here. Conquest, FOTR plots, mission handler. Conquest, FOTR plots, mission handler. Mission Handalorian. Alright, just to make this simpler. Would you play Birio Kart with the boys? I really shouldn't be bothering her. She's here to escape power outages, not to have me distract her. Aru. All right, let's see if I've done anything differently here. Conquest story. I'm just gonna change this to this. I know this works. Go from mission handler to cut that. So I'll just leave it there. So otherwise it usually complains that there's nothing in it. Even though I know that. Sorry, sandbox, government, public. Loaded. Right, so now there's 2 dummy files at the top that I will need to remove. Okay, let's try that again, I think. Event mission fired after conquest. Story sandbox, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so if this doesn't work, I'll know it's a problem with the function. Alright, that stuff works. Okay, so I must have broken something here. Right, back in game. I'm tempted to just try the Republic again, but I feel like it's that plot that's doing it somehow. But I'm just gonna stick with this.
System conquered.
Okay, Saruman. We have it at a 50% chance every week. If
Mission log updated.
Week since mission is greater than or equal to 3, which is true. Wait, no. Yes, okay, so we need to be at least at week 3, which makes sense. I guess I could set that to a higher number when testing.
Mission log updated.
Because now it has to wait at least until week 3. So really it's week 3, 4, and 5 right now that we're looking for. We ever see a tactical mission on Geonosis and Fall of the Republic? I'm sure that will come at some point. The tactical missions that are being worked on are most planned right now are one for Imperial Civil War, which is part of a new mechanic that I think Eckhart's Ladder will really like, which is a bit of a hint. And one for Fall of the Republic that's an infantry based, or there's actually 2 for Fall of the Republic that are infantry based. Okay, so it'll either happen week 4 or week 5, or it's broken. Or not necessarily broken, just the thing that's giving us the text isn't working. But Invisible Hand and Operation Nightfall are probably the first tactical missions we're going to be doing for Fall of the Republic. Oversee Mandalorians / crime fan syndicates as a sub-faction other mods. Mandalorians are a non-playable faction in Imperial Civil War right now that they're going to be removed. They're also going to be in Fall of the Republic as a non-playable faction, and the Hutts will be a faction Fall of the Republic as well, in both actually. Initially not playable, but they do have a chance to become playable. You sure you've set it up for the CIS as well? This is player agnostic. So the player agnostic files are things that are always running. The agnostic meaning the plot doesn't know which player you are, essentially. Shit. Let's see. Because it's definitely self missions update. I'm pretty confident it's getting in there. I think I need to just get the story till do it that way. Text underscore U underscore got a mission. I think this is just what we need. Or just this is what we need. We've got story util in there. So we won't even bother going into a different function right now. We're just going to get the screen text and see if it's actually working. And we're going to set this to 3 to start. So if self weak sense mission is greater than or equal to 3, which it'll start at that, then mission chance is less than or equal to... That's good. I'll just bump that up to 90. Or else bring self-weakness mission up by 1, and it's done. And it's doing this every time the week changes, because this. Oh, I don't want it here. This is running it way too many times. Which shouldn't be breaking it, it's just updating too many times, because it's doing it once per every planet, which is not what you want. Alright, let's give that another shot. What will replace the Mandalorians? Their slot will, assuming we can have the neutral faction in the 17th slot, their slot will probably go to Killix. Because we've already got stuff like the Siruvi and Yuzon Vong coded into their own factions and Corellians. There's a lot of stuff that's not used yet that we have coded in, but... Actually, it's already guaranteed by week 5. That's what this is. Which in this case will mean week 3. Because we bumped the starting number up to 3.
System conquered. Mission log updated. Mission log updated.
Not initiated this properly? It's entirely possible. Pox changed how it loaded stuff. All the planned additions to Imperial Civil War, will any new heroes be classified as Tier 1? Probably not. I don't think anyone will really match up to Thrawn and Akbar at any point. Hey, it worked. Yo, bro, check your mission. Don't judge me. All right. Which means I'm going to put this back in here. And that's going to be... Oops. I'm going to go back to give mission. All right, so that was all working. It's just I'm not sure why it doesn't want to load that plot. It might not be in the same file. But one other thing I want to do while we're here, and I may as well actually test this too, just so I don't screw something else up. 100 is I'm going to try to remove this. And I'm going to try the Republic again. I'm not sure why they would lose from that, but stranger things have happened. Empire at War is weird as fuck. So this is more for the Republic losing testing than anything, but it'll still be good information to have. Republic Air 1 or small. Oh, I see what's going on.
System conquered.
They don't actually start with a planet. I'm not sure how they lost that. They should just have Coruscant. The Mandalorians are removed. We'll also be able to recruit Cadalbic. Nah, nothing will change with them except for they won't be an independent like they won't be coded as their own faction. They'll just be part of the independent forces. You'll still be able to recruit their units through influence and all that. Progressive. Small. Is this playing as the Empire? Yeah, this is weird. Coruscant placement dummy. Something is making that get removed earlier than it should be, but whatever. It's not what we're working on right now. We'll have to work on that later. I guess I do need to get into another file. So that's going to be our next thing. Which means we need that plot. We need this. So I'm going to just leave this exactly as is. Because we definitely need to be in another plot. I'll leave this just so that we know if it's actually working, because we know that works from the last test. And this we know works from the other file. Story util. Oh, did I just need the story util file for this and wasn't using it? I don't think that's true, but I may not have been. Either who, this is what we do. Will any other recruitable units like the Mandalorian or Haven ones be added in? It depends on the it depends on the planet. There would possibly. Oh, thanks, Vinny. Appreciate it. But yeah, there's a few like Bakura that could potentially end up that way.
Planetary control achieved.
Yeah, the stream control page says Forces of Corruption, but the stream live page says Tabletop Sim, which is just annoying. Can't really change it because it says it's correct in the place where I have to change it.
Mission log updated.
Okay, yo bro, check your mission.
Mission log updated.
But I need to be playing Republic for that one. For that event. Okay, so I do think that's working then. Republic. No, it's a government file I wanted. Conquest. Government, Republic. Oh, this is why it wasn't working. Because it wants me to be a human, and I can't be. It makes more sense than what it sounds like. It wants the Republic to be the humans for that one. So I'm pretty sure it was always working. It just... I got the wrong event to base it off of and screwed myself. Which shouldn't have affected the other file, but at least loading it from this. Okay, so we'll give that a shot. Are the Chiss going to be added as a playable or unplayable faction? Yes. The Empire of the Hands rework will, and their government mechanics will involve the Chiss in some way. We just have to figure out how we want to handle the relationship between them. Because we can only do the CIS style alliance in one group per mod, which may end up being the Chiss and Empire of the Hand. But also may end up being the New Republic being able to travel through their vassal state area. Have you ever just replayed Galactic Battlegrounds to remember the classic? I hadn't played it at all until this year, where I did, or it might have been last year. But I started some of the campaigns on the channel. So I did 2 or 3 of them.
Planetary control achieved.
Planetary control achieved. Don't you want planetary control? Alright, it's been a good hour and a half, and we have written, let's see, about 20 lines of code. That checks out.
Mission log updated.
Would I add my girlfriend as an overpowered hero to the mods? I don't know how much she'd appreciate that. Okay, so that did work. Sweet. Only if I could make her a droid.
That would be preferable.
Hmm?
That would be the best.
Yeah, that's why. So I'm gonna get that out of the folder because this is unnecessary, or at least well, I kind of need it to be do I need it to be mod agnostic? Yeah, I kind of do. Okay, we don't actually need this yet anyways. Who will have the higher command tier out of Jason and Jaina? Jason will probably have the better command tier. Jaina is going to be like better stats for herself. She'd probably be the best pilot in the mod, or at least very much up there. All right, so this is where we need it to break off between each mod. So we will go to here. No, we'll go here. And we need this here. Standard game content loader or mod content loader. Data scripts. Library, TR library standard, mod content loader. Oops. This is not the one we want. This is what tells the mod content loader how it works. We want the actual mod content loader content. Object library, government manager. Utilities? No. Galaxy? I think I had it open. Game mod. No, initialize. There we go. Init. This is it, init. Missions equals mod content loader get mission. Assigner? Let's call it mission assigner. Distributor sounds more fancy. Missions equals mod content loader get mission distributor. So get mission distributor. And I don't think it actually uses the word governments anywhere, right? That's, yeah. And we'll need this in the mission manager. Self dot mission distributor equals You think it's going to be possible to play a multiplayer Galactic Conquest with a future version of Thrawn's Revenge? No. The more we add, the more difficult it is to make a multiplayer compatible version. Especially anything that changes the UI or relies on the UI changing is entirely out. We basically have to strip the mod entirely back to what the base game features are and make it on that, which is very difficult when the rest of the mod is already changed around it. Mission distributor should be in library. We're going to do the Fall of the Republic version first, so government manager, we'll just make a copy of that, and that's going to be mission distributor. Mission distributor new. And class mission distributor, mission distributor, mission distributor. This is where we're going to get all the mission sets from. I don't know if we. All right, that was not. That was weird. Oh my god, there's Disruptor. Apparently not. Mission Disruptor. Deterrent. How do I feel about the newer Star Wars movies? Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. Force Awakens and Last Jedi are like middle of the pack for me. I like them better than the prequels, less than the original trilogy. I like Solo in this similar area. All right. So when we're coming in here, we basically established who's getting what. Like, to get in here, we know that you're getting a mission. Corey has almost no ship have a special ability. I mean, the capital ships will the vendors have some. Because special abilities in Empire at War are complete fucking garbage, is basically it. You get power to engines, power to shields, power to weapons, and we prefer not to just have renamed versions of those everywhere. We're trying to make as many new abilities as we can, but that requires a lot of development time for scripting them, like what we did with the single unit retreat and micro jump and stuff like that. Like they'll be in some places, but we don't want every ship to just have power to weapons, power to shields, or power to engines. It's a lot easier to balance not just shoving those in. So instead, we'd rather wait until we have options that actually work for what it is. Okay. So we need to know which faction you are. So I have a way that I do this that I think is really inefficient. But I think that's what we have to do until someone corrects me on it. Because I think it's probably okay to have, we'd probably want a variable for all the factions anyways. So I'll just bring the whole thing over. Compare Republican Empire if self.republic and if self. So yes, because you'll never be the other factions right now. We can add more if we need to. You're not going to be the CIS sub-factions. Is there a reason for the game lagging but also not using all the RAM, etc.? What the game uses, like the game will never be able to use modern computers, all of modern computers' RAM. They can only access to technically now 4 gigabytes of RAM. But the thing that makes Empire at War lag is the CPU, because it can only use 1 core, and so like your base clock speed is what matters there. And the more planets there are on a map, the more it's going to lag. Like the more units moving around. How do I feel about The Mandalorian? I've really been enjoying it. I think it's a good show, and I'm looking forward to what Star Wars can be on that kind of platform. So shorter form, focusing on like smaller bits of the universe. That's really what I'm interested in with it. I guess I should also get the faction object for this. Yeah. It's better to have it be the faction object. So there's a variable for each faction and also one that's directly the player. And we are going to do self mission start. Um, self.governments update, mission manager, self.mission distributor. Mission start. Which really, I don't need this function then. I can just go straight from here. Yeah, because right now we're not really going to use that for much else. Like, we're probably going to need it for something else later, but I won't worry about it yet. Mission distributor, mission start. And here, we're doing this. So I'll check if this actually gives the mission properly, or the thing we want properly. It's not actually a mission yet, because it is mission fired, and that is not checking for humans, so we're good there. We'll see if the distributor's working. Hold on. Yeah, that should work. In case EAW or EA would ever release a new Empire at War, could you still use the codes of the mod? No, it would be a new engine, new code base. Nothing would really be usable. Like, we could technically use the same assets, but considering it's a new engine with different capabilities, we'd probably use more modernized assets there as well. But I don't know if that's technically true, because we'll see what we do with Homeworld 3. Assuming that even has modding support, mod support, life support.
System conquered.
All right, so if this works, the next step is going to be making the actual plot file, and then making the set of missions that it can actually go into. Which I guess that, yeah, we probably should have faction-specific files for that then. I mean, they would fuck up the game, but the new engine would be just... I mean, if you actually look at the quality of the games themselves that EA Studios put out, they're usually good games. It's just the EA's bullshit around them is more with their marketing and their funding structures. So how they handle things like microtransactions. But because EA is such a large company, it's so prominent within the industry, and issues with how they treat their employees, but they're able to get a lot of good game devs and game studios. The problem is we don't know how long those studios are going to last after they acquire them if one game does poorly. Because like Respawn did a good job with Fallen Order. A lot of unless something like what happened with Battlefront 2 happens, where the loot crates just fucked up any kind of ability to be competitive without paying. Like if you play Battlefront 2 now, it's a fun game. So I'd be less worried about what the gameplay's like, especially if it's a studio they own, and more about other stuff around it. Okay, but that worked, so that's good. I'd say we use the... Do we actually want this file? We could use the mission manager to find out the faction and send it into the correct file for the faction. But then that's a lot in the mod content loader, which is kind of gross. I'd rather have the mission distributor getting the... Yeah. I think if we handle it from here, that's best. All right, so if self.player equals it's kind of backwards. Or at least factored stupidly. Yeah, because who gives a fuck if we've already got the information? That's just a waste of code. One of the most precious resources known to man. Alright, yeah, we just needed to find the factions up there. Did I copy that? I hope I copied that. Oh, I never have to. Nope, didn't copy that. Oh, fuck me. Alright. There we go. And I guess we should open the government manager as well. Library for the Republic, government manager. Copy this today on the thingy. And today we are going to paste it here. See? We only need one of these. Then we are going from For the Republic to the Missions for Republic. Missions Republic. And Missions CIS. When our boys overseas are going to be fighting on the front lines. Okay, now, so we got that done. And I'm just going to copy these guys over here. And they're just going to go over here. And I don't think we need all these to be initialized if we're not going to use them all. So we just need to do what we're going to do. But actually, we kind of do need to initialize them all. So we are going to grab that. Yep. Gov mission CRS for a mint. That is definitely not what we want. Repka missions. Self.rep missions equals missions republic. Self.cis missions equals missions CIS. That is good. We're going to be getting that. We're going to get this. And it's going to go here. and that's going to be like this, and that's going to be like this, and that's going to be like this, and that's going to be like this. Because really all this is going to be doing is assigning the mission from a plot file. CS missions. And each faction is going to have its own sort of paradigm for how the missions work. So the fact that it's going to be in its own file is actually, that works. It's probably for the best. Yeah, so we just need those files now. We need Missions Republic and Missions CIS, which I'm going to make by just copying Government Republic and Government CIS. Or actually, I'm just going to copy Government CIS first, because that's the one we're playing. So Missions CIS. And actually government CIS. So let's, what did we do? Government manager, government manager, government manager, government CIS. Close. Okay, equals mission CIS. Don't need any of this. Mission CIS. Assign. Mission CIS. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool. Cool. Well, a lot of single-player oriented games don't do modding support much anyways. So that might be part of why we're not seeing much with stuff like Battlefront. But what? Not the week. It's not the weekend.
What?
It's not the weekend.
So I don't have full control?
You've only seen what you've seen.
Yeah, it seems like there could have been a lot more.
There hasn't.
Okay.
What? You
The one you're really disappointing.
Anne and Sebastian. If you want, you can count them. See what it's like when you get here on the weekend.
It's a new case because you all that.
Likely. It depends on if there's any Mario Kart this week. So, really,
There's only 12 of them there, and there's still like 4 more days till I come back, possibly.
yeah, that is.
It's 3 per day.
Yeah, that's more than I drink.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
I feel like you've had 2 already since I've been here.
No, I had 1.
Have you?
Well, that would be 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been keeping track. Don't worry. I'm not going to be driving. All hyper from sugar.
I guess you just took the one from dinner back in here.
Yeah. Did you think I had one with dinner and then?
I'm not
Just
sure
open
if there
one
was
after.
one that had been already open in here.
Well,
that you're finishing.
yeah, there was one that was open in here, but I wasn't drinking it. That would be warm and disgusting. They were from yesterday.
Can't be having your warm Coke.
That would be terrible. They're also empty because I wouldn't leave them sitting there for. Ah,
Can't let any go to waste.
ugh. That's just nasty. Ugh.
Chocolate's been sitting out for days, fine.
Are you serious? What is
Remove
wrong
all
with
the
you?
Fizz. It's
Oh,
just
God.
Nice, flat, lukewarm
It's
pop.
just no. It's just viscous syrup at that point. Half separated, warm, de-fizzy syrup.
Well, I don't know how it would be with Coke because I've never drank Coke, but
So just the
Sprite, 7-Up,
ginger ale that just sits in your closet for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Ugh. It's awful. Anyways. Do you think you can make a Doom PK3 for Thrawn? I don't think so. I've never even played Doom as far as I can remember. Warm pop. What is no.
How would you not expect that from me, though?
I should have, but I somehow didn't.
You know I don't put my ginger ale in the fridge before I drink.
I know, and it's sad. That poor ginger ale. All right. Self dots. So for the CIS, their main thing with the missions is actually going to be from their corporations. So trade fed missions, self dot LGBC missions, self dot what are the other one? Commerce Guild? Yeah, Commerce Guild, not Corporate Alliance. We weren't talking about Canadian syrup. We were talking about pop and how if you leave it out for too long. See, she was saying that it's okay to drink pop that's been out for a day because it defizzes, as if that is a quality you want in pop, which is just
The worst part is the fizz.
no. That's what makes pop worth drinking. So you're starting off with 0 done. And I'm just so shaken to my core right now. I'm sorry, everyone. This is I don't know if I can go on. All right, so there should be a set of missions. Hmm. Okay, so how do we want to do this? We definitely so we need to get story event whatever. It's going to end with story event self.chosen mission. I'm pretty sure we can do that. That's going to be fired, and we want plots. Yeah, so I know what we're going to do now. I know what we're going to do now. Conquests. Soy sandbox government and republic. Missions cis.xml. Conquest mission cis.xml. So we need to go into data, XML, conquests, and that will be, and we already have this in here, so actually, no, we already have this, which we don't actually need. So missions underscore cis.xml, and we're going to go into Clone Wars Regressive. This is where this is, government handler republic. I'm just going to put all the mission handlers in wherever wherever player agnostic is. Missions underscore CIS. And then mission CIS, just mission loaded, mission fired. And actually, just to be sure, I'm going to do it this way, because we already know that does what it does. Okay, so CIS mission CIS. Assign equals mission. Okay, this looks like it'll work. Did I call it Techno Guild? I was reading Commerce Guild. Thank you. That's what happens 2 hours into the stream. That's also what happened in like the first 5 minutes of the stream, so I don't know if I can really say that. But we're getting to the point where this is actually doing something, that's always the exciting part. I think this is going to work. Okay. I'm pretty sure everything was marketed as medicine originally. But will it blend? Confederacy, Clone Wars Small. Here we go.
System conquered.
It's broke. Mission CIS is what we want. Mission CIS. Turn mission distributor. Missions Republic, Mission CIS. Oh, I think because I don't actually have a file for Missions Republic. That's my guess. Library missions for me. Let's just get rid of this for now. Until I actually have some republics to give missions for. All right, back in we go. Yes, back in we go. The part I'm struggling to think of is how we're going to assign the rewards, randomizing the actual content of the mission. Because the type of mission should be fairly easy. We'll see. That may be for another time, though. I can just do the most basic kind to get one working right now. Okay, cool. That was the problem.
Planetary control achieved.
Let's see if it's going to tell me to look at my missions.
Mission log updated.
Not that. That's different. Yo, bro, check your mission. All right, that all worked. This is going so much better than I thought it would. Actually, I may need to just check source data XML intervention Vader favor. Set planet restricted. Okay, this just loads the plots. So I wonder if that's how we should do it. Trigger. But how does it know? How does it know what to do when it snows? Do the interventions actually care? Where does it load this? This is what I must know. Mods, corruption, mods, make extract, make editor. We're going into base game Empire at War. Not even Forces of Corruption. We are going way back. We are extracting everything. Oops, common. Corruption. Mods. New. Super source. I meant to extract every. Oh, okay, well. I'm not sure where it ever defined who had what. Oh, DCP. And extract files. God damn it. This is just making me go all the way through. Reps. Common. Corruption. Mods. Super source. Okay. So many files extracted. Mods. Super source. Data. XML. Okay, intervention, accumulate credits. That's fairly straightforward. Unique unit, story chapter. It doesn't actually give the thing. So does it give it in game constants? Intervention. Vader. All right. If I find super source favor spelled incorrectly, goddamn Americans. All right, these are the intervention scripts, which isn't helpful. Intervention goal set. AI goal functions. Does the AI actually get them? Or is that just how it's determining? Huh. Data XML AI. Which folder was that? AI goals, intervention goals. No, I think this is actually for the AI, not for assigning it. That's interesting. Intervention. Okay, XML ground buildables. Intervention Vader favor. Space buildable speech events. Star bases, story plot. Okay, so these are all in suspended plots. That's how that works. But then what triggers it? Story Sandbox 10A Empire. Let's check that out. Like, you could basically just put those in and it'd probably work for most people. But for what we're doing, it wouldn't. I'm not sure where Ains took the voices from. Story Sandbox 10A Empire. Story Sandbox 10A Empire. Okay, so it's not actually part of this. How does it activate its interventions? Show me your secrets. Intervention goals, cool. Suspended plots, that is, yes, thank you for playing. Is it something that happens in Lua? Because I can't actually load the Lua files, so. I could have swore the rewards were in here for them, at least. Yeah, random Random story triggers. This makes sense. Okay, so this is how it's determining it. I think. So we're going to want to load the plots. It's probably how it's best to do it. We don't want this. Okay. I don't know if we'll actually need this. So we'll get rid of that for now. And I'm just going to keep this in to make sure it's actually working. You know what? We'll leave that. All right, story mode, defining story threads, event name, great. Is loading a plot a reward? Story. Okay, that's all the events. Okay, this is all going to be AI notification, so it doesn't really matter. Add objective, activate retry dialog, change owner, command bar movie credits, destroy, disable branch, disable buildable, disable direct invasion, disable event, disable retreat, disable reinforcements, disable story event. Dual flash, enable buildable, enable direct invasion, enable event, enable galactic reveal, enable objective, enable victory, finish tutorial, flash fleet with unit, flash GUI, flash planet GUI, flash production choice, flash special ability, flash unit, force click GUI, force respawn, force retreat, hide cursor, hide tutorial, highlight object, increment flag, lock controls, lock unit, new power for all, objective complete. Maybe we just load the plot in here. How does favor for Lord Vader look? Or this? Okay, so we'll probably have to make them be their own plot files. XML for Republic. No, XML conquests. New folder. Mission file, just so it's not quite so shitty. Mission CIS. Actually, let's see if I can put it as... No, it can be active. It can be active. It can be active. Mission files, mission CIS, we'll just throw in there. Conquests, mission files. Mission CIS. All right, so we're gonna want to have a bunch of them in here and then randomize between them. And there are some that should get removed from the table as soon as they're done, but we're not gonna worry about that. You know what? I'm actually gonna copy over just for this intervention. Let's just do accumulate. Yeah, I'll just take the accumulate credits one. Grab all your shit. Mission files, mission CIS. So let's take that there. It gets triggered by this. We're going to make this perpetual. I think we'd have to make them all perpetual. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But then should it be handled all within the Lua? Maybe. Right. Either way, I think that's going to be enough for tonight, because that's like 6 hours of streaming today, and I have other shit I need to do. But I'm going to try to get the Monday night modding stuff to be more regular. But hope you guys have enjoyed this stream. Thanks for watching, everyone, and hope to see you next time. Have a good night.